It's been a very difficult year for all of us. And I just saw an incredible statistic that amongst the Americans' most generous citizens, they gave last year less than they've given over the past decade. But us Yidden, us Jews, remain the top givers. That's who we are. We givers. We gom lech hasadim. We're a nation of givers. And it didn't only start now. It's been like that for thousands and thousands of years. You know, our Parashat tells us in Parashat Naso that on the first day of Nisan, the day that the Mishkan was sanctified, the leaders, the nesi'im of the 12 tribes, brought their own personal offerings in celebration of this momentous event. In addition, to help the Levi'im transport the Mishkan during the journeys in the desert, the nesi'im also donated wagons and oxen, which were allocated to the Levi'im according to their needs. Now, some Mepharshim are a little bit puzzled by the offering of these wagons. When the command was to give Bnei Yisrael to donate to the building of the Mishkan, we know that the giving of Bnei Yisrael, the response was overwhelming. The generosity of the people came to the point where a public announcement needed to be made. We know the Torah says, "V'yatzu Moshe v'avru kol b'machaneh leimar ish ve'isha oid al yasu." You couldn't bring any more. It was overwhelming. And one would imagine that as nesi'im, leaders of such a generous spirited nation, these nesi'im, these tribal leaders themselves, must surely have been exceptionally generous. They must have been giving individuals, but no. If you look at the pesukim, the nesi'im needed to split up the wagons. They couldn't even give one wagon themselves. They shared this contribution. Where was the generosity like Bnei Yisrael had? And by the same token, the same question can be asked. Couldn't each nasi afford a wagon on their own? Furthermore, if we're looking in the Gemara in Shabbos, it seems that the 6 wagons that were donated, 2 were the sons of Gershon and 4 for the sons of Merari, were highly inadequate for the enormous load and the numerous beams, cross beams, the sockets of the Mishkan. And the Gemara goes into details how the Levi'im had to balance the materials over the wagons and support them from falling. The question is obvious. For leaders of such great spirited nation, one would have thought they would have given oxen and wagons to easily carry all the Mishkan's materials and even more. How could they give less than was expected? And more than that, why did they split the wagons between the two? We find, with regard to the quality of the materials used in the Mishkan, gold and other precious metals and jewels, that's what adorned Hashem's holy abode. But with regards to the quantity and the size, measurements were very, very precise. There was a distinction between the quality of the materials and the quantity of the materials. For example, the cups which held the oil of the menorah were made to measure. They had precisely the right amount of oil to burn through the longest nights of the year, but not a drop more. Great elegance and grandeur adorned the Mishkan, but there was absolutely no waste. Things were done magnificently, but things were never ever overdone. And why? And I think it's to impart this crucial message. Everything we possess, every item that we have, we must ultimately find its place in Avodas Hashem. Like the Gemara in Yuma tells us, Kol ma shebara Kadosh Baruch Hu lichvoda barai. To have extra, to have excess, means there are some items that don't have an intrinsic holy purpose. They bring no kedusha into this world. It's almost a waste. The wagons and the oxen were carefully calculated, but the right carrying power for the beams and materials for the Mishkan. Sure, had there been more, things could have been more evenly spread out when transporting the items, but then we wouldn't have been able to understand this lesson. The Torah wanted that we should understand that the ultimate purpose of all things, especially our own possessions, is to serve Hashem with all their potential. And in light of this, we can understand something as well. When Yaakov went back across to fetch us pachim kotonim, the small jars, the Gemara in Chulin tells us, Mikan latzadikim shechoviv aleihem mamonim yosem migufon. Are the righteous that greedy? Are the righteous that greedy that they needed to go to the other side of the river to find these pachim kotonim, these small little glasses? No. But they have strived entire lives that everything they possess, they should use in order to bring honor to Hashem. So if something is lost, the righteous don't take it lightly. With this regard, we can understand our connection to our material possessions. It certainly applies to our lives. We must serve Hashem. We must write svarim with every last drop of blood we possess. Not even one molecule should be denied its chance to serve Hashem and give Hashem a glory. Just as the bodybuilder performs many, many exercises in order to tone each of his muscles, so too we must look for fresh and innovative ways in order to serve Hashem as well, using all our faculties, using all our abilities that we've been given. You know, it's told that when the Chazon Ish was too tired to learn at his table, he would lie in his bed and learn Torah that way. He would lie down and learn Torah till his eyes could not stay open. Nobody ever said to be a Torah Jew is easy. No one ever said that trying to support a family and live in a secular world is easy. But nobody ever said it was supposed to be easy. This world is the world of Olam Hasiyah, the realm of doing. Rest will come, please God, in Olam Haba, in the next world. But for now, we must serve Hashem. We will all have everything that we have, and we will all be able to serve Hashem with everything that we have. Wishing you all a wonderful Shabbos.